George Will is with us, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist, NewsNation senior contributor. It's good to see you, sir. Your column about a month ago, how America became a nation of the woke and the wary, walking on eggshells. Is the pendulum starting to swing back?
I think it is, and you used the magic word joke, that the woke are becoming the subject of late-night comedies. Leland, in politics, a political movement, a political person can survive hatred, can survive indifference. You cannot survive laughter. I don't know how many of the NewsNation viewers are familiar with the Babylon Bee. It's a satirical website. It recently had this headline: "Scientists warn that within 6 months, humanity will run out of things to call racist." Now, when people start laughing, you know that the people being laughed at are in trouble. And I think this started, the laughter started when the woke mob said arithmetic is racist. That is, if you say 2 + 2 is 4, you're guilty of what the woke call linear thinking, and therefore you are white, and it's oppressive to say 2 + 2 is 4.
Where does this go for the Biden administration? Because so much of the 2020 victory was on being woke, understanding the power of wokeism, harnessing the power of wokeism. I'm thinking about their own internal polling as reported by the New York Times this morning. Immigration is a growing vulnerability for the president. John Anzalone and his team warned in a package of confidential polling. Voter surveys and recommendations compiled for the White House. Voters do not feel he has a plan to address the situation on the border, and it is starting to take a toll. They also talked about inflation is an issue. I'm feeling almost like we're dealing with the French revolutionary, right, who has to figure out where his crowd is going so he can lead them.
Well, that's right. You used the phrase a moment ago, luxury worries. I think most Americans, although they'll say to a poll taker that they're worried about climate change, actually they're more worried about being struck by the Goodyear blimp than they are by climate change. They've been told now for 20 years that they're going to be dead in 5 years because of the existential crisis. Again, the woke have been crying wolf, and the wolf doesn't show up. And eventually people begin to say, we're being taken for a ride.
Just from a political standpoint, and you've covered enough White Houses to understand sort of what's going on, irregardless of what you or I or the viewer may think individually of the policies. You have this woman, Nina Jankowicz, being appointed to head the Disinformation Governance Board. Forget for a second, Disinformation Governance Board was something that George Orwell would have liked to have been able to make up. It proves that truth is stranger than fiction. But here's just a little bit of the woman who calls herself the Mary Poppins of disinformation.
They're laundering disinfo, and we really should take note and not support their lies with our wallet, voice, or vote. Oh, it's how you hide a little lie. It's how you hide a little lie. It's how you hide a little lie. When Rudy Giuliani
it's not parody, like that is actually her video, but it comes to this different issue. Okay, what is worse, putting that woman on the board and then having the video come out and then defending her as Jen Psaki did today? Take a listen.
It's not, the mandate is not to adjudicate what is true or false online or otherwise. It will operate in a nonpartisan and apolitical manner.
I don't know what's worse, actually believing what they're saying or not believing it and still saying it.
I don't know what they're paying Jen Psaki, but whatever it is, it's not enough to come out and perform like that.
MSNBC will pay her a lot more.
Exactly. Look, the fact is that suspicion of government is in our national DNA. That's why we have a written constitution. That's why we have a First Amendment to keep government at bay. And along they come with this singing Mary Poppins, minister of truth. Good heavens. You would think the Obama administration would have enough sense of self-awareness and of its own precarious position not to invite ridicule.
No,
its policies do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at is, have we ever had a White House in such a precarious situation, as you say, that continues the self-inflicted wounds? And as I'm asking the question, I think the only person who comes to mind is Mr. Biden's predecessor.
That's quite right. And it's simply the case that this minister of truth, or whatever they're calling it, Office of Disinformation, is not going to happen. because in order to do that, they have to have money appropriated, and there will be very soon something put, I think, on the president's desk that says, it'll be attached to an important piece of legislation that says no money shall be spent for a ministry of truth.
Yeah, you can only imagine that there's a whole lot of Republicans who would love to force Democrats into that vote ahead of the election. Mr. Will, it's good to see you, sir. Thank you.
Good to be with you.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.